Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Fraser Almeida. I'm a photographer based here in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I specialize in luxury real estate, architecture, and interior design. Today you guys are coming along with me as I get portfolio shots that I get to put on my website and share on social media. Why? Because I want to always keep pushing myself to keep growing, trying new things, never being stale, doing the same thing over and over again. I always want to make sure that I have in my tool bag the ability to try different things. If a client says, hey, I want something dark and moody, or I want something light and airy, I have the skill set to be able to deliver that for my client. And the only way that I can do that is to make sure that I have the actual hands-on experience, that muscle memory, so that way when I do have a situation like that, I know exactly what I need to do to accomplish that for my client. So join me today on this portfolio shoot as we talk about all the gear that I'm bringing, the mindset that I have, and the approach that I take when I'm getting these portfolio shots. And remember, this is how we attract our clients. When clients are on social media, when clients are on websites, on Google searching for photographers, I would bet anything that the portfolio, hands down, is the main thing that they're looking for to hire you. They want to make sure that you have the vision, you have the eye, the talent, the editing skills, whether you're doing it yourself or working with an editor, to produce these images. So that portfolio is key. Probably one of the most important things when it comes to client acquisition is your portfolio. You want to make sure that you put your best work out there so that you have a good foot forward, so that they can see like, okay, you got the skill, I'm going to hire you for my project. So here's a preview of some of the images we're going to be capturing today. We have this gorgeous one-point perspective of this kitchen. I think this main image here really highlights and showcases off the beauty of this kitchen. After that, we're going to get some more creative, intimate shots, something a little bit more darker, a little bit more moodier. And from there, we're going to go handheld and just get some creative compositions showcasing the different elements of the space. And the beauty is this is all handheld in camera without really needing to do any more editing back in post. Maybe very, very slight editing, but it's not much at all. This is pretty much all in camera, just going around finding these different compositions. So that's pretty much it. Let's get started with this first image here of this beautiful one-point perspective. Now today we're primarily focusing on just a kitchen. And when you guys do get the opportunity out there to, get a home, get some time on your actual real estate shoot to get some money shots, I want you to treat it like an assignment. Don't just spray and pray. I want you to be targeted and think about getting the best money shots that represent that space so you can put it in your portfolio. You only want to put the best stuff in your portfolio. You don't want it to just be random things. Just focus on the best money shots that capture that space, so that way you're not also wasting time. Sometimes you don't have the liberty to have all day to get these kind of shots. You're only limited to maybe a half an hour, whatever it is, right? I got lucky that my client gave me as much time as I needed, but it's not always like that. Sometimes I'm actually getting portfolio shots on the job, right? So maybe if I'm doing for instance, a luxury real estate shoot, as I'm doing that shoot, I'm kind of keeping in the back of my head, what are the money shots there? And once I'm done with the shoot, I'll just go quickly grab those money shots, whether I want to add flash or maybe I see a certain composition, and just get that for myself so I can be in and out of there quick and I'm not wasting time. So think about that in the future. When you guys are out there, trying to get this kind of stuff, think about timing, because we don't always have that luxury, especially when we're trying to be in and out quickly, if we're trying to get portfolio shots as we're actually working for our clients. The other way to go about it is, ask your friend, use your network out there. We have friends, family. I'm sure a family member knows a realtor. You can even try going to, let's say, a model home and just walk in there with the camera, get some, portfolio shots, start at the bottom and then build your way up until you get that skill level where people will actually love to open their doors for you to come in there and shoot their spaces for you to use for your own uses on your portfolio, social media, and all that kind of stuff. I know I've built myself up in this industry that I'm sure I can call certain people and be like, hey, can I go in there and shoot your kitchen or shoot your living room or whatever? And they wouldn't hesitate to say, yes, they would allow me to come in there to get those shots. And, as a courtesy, I would also share that with them as a keepsake for them to have for themselves. But for me, it's an investment in myself. So that way I have something to showcase, maybe something new I'm trying, or to just, keep my portfolio updated if I'm not getting enough work out there in the field, so that I'm always just producing new things and not looking like, the same consistent thing all the time. We always want to advance and get better in this craft. And remember, think about who these images are for. Think about your client, the future clients out there that you want to work for. And also think about what these images will represent about your quality and style. These are very important things because that's what we have to get those clients, right? Having good quality work is our foot in the door for them to see what we can do so they can hire us. Now, when you guys are on site, and you get this opportunity, I really want you to think of this like an assignment, like you're actually there doing a job. So in this case, for instance, this kitchen, I'm going to think about, okay, what's the money shot? What's that one killer shot that's going to represent this space? And I'm going to focus on that. And then after that, I'm going to get the supplemental shots, maybe some little tighter vignettes to showcase a different type of mood, a different type of feeling that lets you feel that space a little bit more intimately rather than just seeing the whole thing. Whether it's a kitchen, whether it's a living room, master bedroom, whatever it is, focus on that money shot that represents that space well, and then after that, you can go ahead and get your supplemental shots to showcase the rest of it, those details, those vignettes, and all that creative shots to experiment with. And when it comes to shooting, there's two approaches I like to take as well. It's either shooting to edit, so pretty much I'm shooting, getting my ambient brackets, getting my flash frames, getting whatever I need so that way I can take it back in post and blend these images in Photoshop to get that final image. Or the second approach is getting it all in camera and trying to get this image look as perfect as possible in camera. So when I do take it back in post, I'm doing very minimum editing so that my processing time is barely nothing, right? Like I'm trying to avoid having to spend so much time editing so I can try to get it all in camera as much as possible. And if I have to, I can do little bits of edit here and there. But like I said, that's two different mindsets. One is about shooting to edit, and the other one is just getting it all in camera. So whatever approach it is, make sure you guys take your time so that whether you're shooting to edit, then you get all those files that you need to make your life easier back in post. Or if you're shooting it for getting it in camera, then take the time to slow down and get it all dialed in so that way nothing's blown out, nothing's too dark or too bright. So it looks great in camera as just one shot. So sit back and join me as we journey into getting these portfolio images to benefit our website and social media. So as you can see behind me, we have this beautiful kitchen and this gorgeous luxury home. I actually did a luxury real estate shoot for my client here on this property. But after that was done, I asked him if I can come back and just get some portfolio shots for myself that I can just use for my website and social media and all that kind of stuff. So I thought, why not bring you guys along with me on this photo shoot so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing when it comes to those type of shots. So hopefully it'll help you guys out there when you guys are trying to, build up your portfolio and trying to just get some nice shots that you can put to showcase the quality of work you can produce for your future clients out there. So let's jump onto it. First off, let's take a look at the equipment that I brought. It's a bunch of stuff. Like I'm going to be experimenting with lighting. I brought a bunch of different light modifiers, scrims, beauty dishes, parabolic umbrellas, soft boxes, everything. So let's take a look at the equipment first, and then we can get set up and get our composition dialed in so we can start shooting. So when it comes to these type of shoots, I'm bringing all the gear. I'm taking whatever I need to encounter whatever situation that I have. Flags, scrims, lights, modifiers, you name it, I'm bringing it. I want to make sure that I have my car loaded so that way I have anything I need to encounter whatever situation that's there. So don't be afraid. Pack your car up. Make sure you have what you need so that way on site you can have the right tools to get the job done. And also you have the right tools to experiment and try different things. The reason why I also overpack is I don't want to ever say, I wish I had brought this. Just bring it. And even though you don't use it, just bring it because you just never know. Sometimes you might realize like, oh crap, I forgot this. I wish I had it. And who wants to drive 30 minutes to go back and get it? Just bring the things that you need so that way you have all the tools necessary to get the job done. So let's take a look at the equipment that I have with me today. So starting off with, let's look at the camera bag. I'm working with today my Canon 5 DSRs. This is a 50 megapixel camera. So it's going to give me some nice resolution so I can, crop in if I need to, get different compositions. I have a backup here. This is my Canon 5D Mark IV. And this is my 17 tilt shift. I have a 24-105, my 50 millimeter. I have a extender for the tilt shift. So that way also, if I want to do something equivalent more to like a 24 millimeter, I can make that happen. And by the way, guys, here's an update. I have my first official in 2025 mirrorless camera. After all these years with the DSLR, I finally upgraded to a mirrorless camera. This is the Canon R5, works great, amazing technology, great images, great quality, the color science, I love it. Lots of bells and whistles, really, really good camera. But that being said, for those of you who still have a DSLR, you can still create killer amazing images with those cameras. I'm still going to be having my DSLRs as backup. So my R5 is going to be my primary body. My secondary will be the Canon R5DSR. And then the third body will be the Canon 5D Mark IV. So just trust me, even though, you know, you hear a lot about mirrorless and all this kind of stuff, if you still have a DSLR, you'll be fine. You can still create killer amazing images. I've been doing it for many, many, many years. And I still have very much confidence in those cameras to get the job done. But yeah, I'm using this R5. I'm loving it so far. Eventually in the future, once they get a little bit more hands-on with it, I might make a video on the differences between the mirrorless and DSLR and see the pros and cons. But until then, I am enjoying it, and hopefully we'll give you guys an update in the future on the results. This is my flash setup. So I have my Pelican case here. So I have a 600 watt light. That should be more than enough to overpower the sun. This is my 300 watt light. If I need to, I can use this for a secondary light, but I don't think I'm going to need it. I think pretty much everything's going to be done with the 600. And then I got my triggers, all that good stuff. And you can't forget Cam Ranger needs something to tether and trigger wirelessly the camera. So this is going to be great. And if you notice, this is actually the first version. This still works great. Like, I honestly have no reason why to go to the 2. So yeah, still using the first version Cam Ranger to wirelessly trigger my camera. This right here is a Fresnel lens. So this is a Bowens mount, as you can see. And what this does is allows for the light to come out in parallel lines straight out. So I can either make the beam smaller or wider, but it'll always be parallel. So if you see here, there's this zoom that I can do to it. So by doing this, I can, like I said, adjust the width of the light coming out for either wider or smaller. So this will be nice to put on top of the lens to just get some nice, parallel lines. I have my light stands here, obviously for the lights, a backup tripod here. This is my main tripod. This is a Manfrotto carbon fiber. I have the Leo Photo head on top. This is the GW01. Love this thing. I also have this backup head. This is a Leo Photo G4. Similar to the Arca Swiss. Works really, really good. This is my parabolic light modifier here. So this will give us some interesting effects to what the light's doing. And I have a grid on it, as you can see. So, whoops. As you can see, I have this grid on it. So that will be interesting to really get some controlled lighting and create some nice vignettes with this light. So that'll be interesting to see what I can do with that. This is my scrim from Westcott. So this is an 8x8 scrim. I also have a blackout scrim here. So that way, if I need to do any kind of negative fill, that'll work great. And then this is how I put the scrim on my scrim gym setup. So these are these 4-foot bars that I'll put together to get 8 foot across. And then I'll use that with a light stand to hold up this scrim, which you guys will see in a second. And then this is a softbox here. I have a double diffusion inside. So if I really want to get some nice controlled lighting and soft lighting, this will be great. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Now, before I even get started, the thing I want you guys to realize is I already know what this image is going to look like before even hitting that shutter button. I know that in my mind, I can see what this image is going to be. I can see the light coming in there. Based off of this ambient photo, it's a very flat scene, which it might work for some clients, but for me, I like a little bit more directionality of light versus it being so flat. Light coming in from everywhere. I want it to just come from one direction, which is that main light source coming in from those left side windows. So with that being said, I'm envisioning a little bit darker chairs, a little bit right side shadows coming off the cabinets and things like that. Soft lighting, so just to help sell that light coming in from that window direction on the left side. And with that light, we're going to create some more better color representation, better texture, better weight for the elements in the scene rather than it being just flat. So before I've even hit that shutter button, I've already pre-visualized what I know this image is going to look like before even getting started. So make sure when you guys are doing these for yourself, you figure out what you want that end result to look like, pre-visualize it, so that way when you get started, you can just focus on achieving that end result by getting all the ambient frames, flash frames you need so that you can make your job easier back in post. So talking about lighting setups, we're going to be putting up a scrim. That scrim is what I'm going to shoot this light through, and that light is going to create this nice soft gradient light that's going to fall from left to right into this scene, and it's just going to create this beautiful light, this beautiful textured light that showcases the space, showcases the elements, and really makes you feel what this is all about. All right, we are all ready to go. We got the camera set up. As you can see, it's a little bit raised up higher because what I'm trying to do is clear that island, right? I want to get some separation between the island and the back area of the kitchen where the stove's at, so we see the actual separation of the two, right? So that's why I'm at this height, just so I can get that separation. Other than that, we got the scrim set up over there with the 600 watt light outside. And now all I want to do is, now that I got my general composition set up, it's a nice 1 point looking down this kitchen. I want to make sure that I have everything dialed in as far as the staging elements there to make sure it works with our composition. So let's go ahead and take a look at that and make sure we have it all set up. So now that I'm here at the property, I'm looking at what's my composition. I'm walking around the scene, taking my time and figuring out what's the best angle that represents this space. For me, the 1 point perspective I thought looked good. It showcased off the window to the left, and that window is going to be where that main light source eventually is going to come from to produce that sweeping light across the scene, so that way we get this beautiful light fall off from left to right for this kitchen. So for me, this 1 point shot is what's going to be my money shot. And then later I'll do all my supplemental shots, getting those little tighter, intimate vignettes to supplement this money shot. That's going to be the priority. So once I've got that done and I have it locked in the tripod, then after that, it's a matter of, okay, let's look at the scene and get it prepared for the photograph. So that means I'm looking at, maybe faucet heads. Maybe I need to turn that faucet head so we can see the bend of it, right? So it doesn't look like a straight line. I'm looking at, all the elements in the kitchen, on the island, on the counter, or whatever, making sure nothing's overlapping each other. Everything has its own space, spacing things apart. Looking at the chairs, making sure that they're all spaced evenly from each other and from in front of the island too. So it looks clean and symmetrical in the camera, right? We don't want to this is probably one of the most important things, is slowing down and taking your time. The last thing you want to do is take a photo and then realize when you get back to the computer, like, oh my God, I missed this, I missed that. Don't do that. Focus, take the time, slow down, and don't hit that shutter button until you know that scene is exactly what you have envisioned in your mind. Now, when it comes to previewing my photography, I'm using a Cam Ranger like we talked about before. I still use that Cam Ranger version 1. And to this day, even though I've now transitioned to a mirrorless camera, that Cam Ranger still works great. So maybe in the future, I'll go to the Cam Ranger version 2, but it doesn't matter. The point is, it allows me to see a bigger preview on an iPad versus looking at the back of the LCD, which is small. That bigger preview lets me see all the details in the composition, so I can make sure that all the elements are spaced evenly, everything looks good, everything is symmetrical, lined up good, so that way I can get started shooting and lighting and doing my process, right? So try to get a bigger preview. If you had to, run and gun, yeah, of course, you can use your camera, the back of the LCD or the viewfinder and make it happen. That's fine. But when you have the ability to slow down, I would highly recommend getting an iPad, Cam Ranger, or some way to tether to maybe a laptop or something so you can see a bigger preview, so you can really see those details and really make sure everything is locked in and dialed in to exactly what you want for your composition. Number one, definitely those faucets, we need to get those lined up so that we see the bend of that faucet. I don't like the way it looks right now, so let's turn these just a little bit so we can still see that bend. And we want to make sure they're kind of evened out, so maybe something like that. This one, a little bit less. Let's see, what does that look like? Yeah, that looks pretty good. This cutting board stuff back here, it's kind of competing with this thing on the island. So let's go ahead and move this maybe here in front of this so we don't get that. That works good. Apples look good. What else here? There's some cups over here. Maybe we can bring these out further just so that we could see it in our composition. Yeah, something like that. That works good. How are the chairs looking? Do they look leveled? So let's take a peek here. So just eyeballing it, I can tell that they're not straight. So let's go ahead and get them all leveled. So just making sure they're all sitting parallel to each other. All right. That looks okay there. Let's how does it look like in the camera. Not bad. I think this one can come in a little bit. Yep. And maybe something like that. All right, that looks pretty balanced to me. Not bad. I'll take that. Let's see, we have this element on here. We can maybe bring it a little bit closer. Something like that. I think that looks pretty good. This thing here, I'm definitely going to Photoshop out on the computer. There's nothing I can do about it on site. So we'll leave that as is. So let's go ahead and take our first set of brackets here. Right now I'm at aperture priority f8 ISO 160. I want to see with this light if I need to go to f11 or any other value. So let's go ahead and take our brackets here. So let's see what we have. What do we need to do to kill the ambient light? So let's go to our dark exposure. This one, we're at 1/125th. Okay, so cool. At 1/125th, I can kill all the ambient if I wanted to. And this one, 1/320, we don't need to do that. So 1/125th, okay, that's not bad. I can work with that. I mean, you still get a little bit ambient in there, but I think I'm okay. I think let's go ahead and go to manual mode. And let's do 1/160th. We'll keep it there at f8. And let's just take one quick shot. Let's just see what that looks like. Yeah, that's pretty good. That way, when I add any kind of lighting in here, my light is what's going to dictate the way this is going to look. I'm not using any ambient lighting. I might add a little bit of that later in post, and we'll see if we want to balance it between the ambient light and the strobe out there. So we'll just see. We're just playing to see what looks good. Let's take our timer off. We don't need that anymore. All right, so let's go ahead and turn our flash on. So right now my flash is on full power. That's my starting off point. And then I'll adjust it to where I need to. I'll play with the ISO, just do what I need to do to get the look that I'm looking for. Right now it's a bare bulb flash with just the reflector that comes with it. we're just gonna see what works for this composition. So let's get to it. Okay, so we have our flash out there dialed in. We have it away from the scrim, and we have our scene set up here. So let's go ahead and take a quick photo. Oh, that wind is pushing it a little bit. It's turning it into a sail. Now, I thought the day I was coming for these portfolio shots, it was going to be a nice clear day, calm day, but I was completely wrong. The wind kicked up and I had to close those sliders. Sometimes on an actual shoot, things like this happen. Weather changes, lighting conditions changes, and we need to be prepared for that. And this is where coming and taking the time to do this on your own time, allows you to kind of troubleshoot this for yourself, because that way you have the skill and the knowledge, that muscle memory, so that when you do encounter something like this on an actual job, you know what to do, whatever it takes to get that job done, and how to overcome this situation, right? We never want to be faced with something and have it be a surprise, but sometimes it is. And when it does happen, we need to know how to overcome it. Okay, so that wind got a little bit strong today. I don't know. I thought it was going to be really light winds, but Vegas, it always likes to change its mind. So what I did is I just closed those sliders about halfway, so it blocks the wind hitting the scrim, so it doesn't move it at all. The light is still outside. That's going to be fine. The wind's not going to blow that over. It's pretty heavy. So let's give that a shot now and see what we can do with this situation. So with that window closed about halfway, it's also killing the power off my flash. So that means I'm gonna have to raise it up, the ISO, to bring in some more power, which that's okay, as long as the light's still coming through. That's what I really care about. So yeah, right now we're at ISO 320. Let's go to 640, see what that does. And if we need to go up higher, we can. I'm sure the quality of the photo will still look good. You won't really notice any kind of grain, things like that too much once we get done polishing the image up in Photoshop. All right, so let's do 640. Yeah, it's not too bad. I think it can go brighter. Let's go 1250. Whoa, way too bright. Let's go to 800. That's not bad. Yeah, 800 looks like it's a decent amount. And with that, I can bring back exposure and in post-production for on the right side. I can take care of the highlights. There's plenty of information there that I can recover the highlights. I think that's okay. I mean, just as a safety, we can get a lower ISO. Let's go back to 320. Just to make sure we got enough information on that left side table over there, so we don't blow that out. So I think that's okay so far. Now, let me go back up to 800. Take another shot. Okay, not bad. Let me see something. I don't like the bottom of this right chair, how bright that's getting. And I know that's because there's this window over here, but let me see if there's a way we can, what's the ambient doing? Yeah, you see that? That I don't like. Let's go to 200. I mean, it's barely doing anything. What I really should have is a flag. A flag to block off the light coming from this side over here. I'm gonna put a negative fill on the right side to block the light coming in, hitting this right side of the kitchen area. I don't like that light coming in there. So let's go ahead and set that up and then we'll get back to taking photos. So what is the negative fill? Pretty much it cancels out the light. So the reason why I'm putting it up is I'm blocking out light so that I get a little bit more shadow on the back of the right side of those chairs. So that way, the light that I'm putting on the left side looks all justified, and there's a nice, beautiful gradient. It doesn't stop, right? Like it doesn't go from bright to dark and then bright again. It's a nice flow and transition of light. So by blocking that light, I'm able to achieve that image I'm trying to get for the end result. All right, so I have this reflector. This actually intensifies the lights and makes it brighter. So let's throw this on the bare bulb on the Bowens mount. This is, as you can see, Bowens mount. Let's see what this looks like, the quality of light, and also how bright it is. Maybe we don't need to go so much on the ISO. Let's throw this on and see what it can do. All right, let's give that a shot. Oh yeah, definitely way brighter. It definitely intensifies the light. So let's go to 640. Yeah, that's not bad. I actually think that's gonna work for this situation. So because we have those windows closed, I can't do what I want. So with this, it compensates and actually intensifies the light. This is great. I love it. It looks really good. That quality of light looks really good. And actually, with this moved out of the way, maybe here, we can avoid seeing this blackout in our shot. Perfect, there we go. That blackout scrim is out of the way, we don't see it. We got dark lighting on the back of the right side area of the kitchen. That looks good. And we got some light coming from our windows there. That looks great. The main reason why I'm using lighting is because we're taking a three-dimensional space and putting it into a two-dimensional medium. You know, in life, we can see that there's texture there. There's a weight to that chair, a weight to that island. But translating that into a photo can be very difficult. And, you know, many people, sometimes you see them just take a camera and light it from behind the camera and just flash the whole scene. Well, that's just a flat image. It doesn't represent the space well. It doesn't give you that weight, doesn't give you a mood, a feeling. So our job is to encounter these spaces and create that same feel as if it was real life, create that dimensionality, that weight to the elements in the scene, add that directionality in the scene, so that way that light and shadow plays with the elements and makes you feel like you're there, like you actually can feel those chairs popping out at you, feeling the weight of the elements in there, right? Like I said, flat, sometimes clients want it, but many times, at least in my experience, my clients like more of that directionality look. They prefer more of that, the light and shadow play versus it just being a flat image. But at the same time, you should also have that ability that if a client says, hey, I want bright and airy, then you know how to overcome that as well. But even with bright and airy, it doesn't necessarily mean flat. It's a different approach. It's a brighter scene, but you can still get directionality even on a bright and airy scene versus a dark and moody scene. All right, so now that we have all that done, we pretty much got our main shot here. I'm gonna do a bracket once again because there was some movement of that right side or left side chairs where the table's at. So I'm just gonna do another bracket really quick, and then I'm gonna do a bracket with the lights on, so I have that option as well in case my client or even for myself, I wanna bring in some of the natural design lighting that they've put into this house. So let's go ahead and do that. And then after that, we can get to some more creative shots. Okay, perfect. So we got bracket with the lights off, bracket with the lights on. We got our flashes. And with all of that, we should have enough information to blend this together to make a killer looking kitchen shot. The main reason why doing brackets with the lights off and on is just so I have options. With the lights off, it gives me a clean image, no color contamination. I can use that to fix any issues I may have in the post-processing section where I'm actually blending everything together. And with the lights on, in case in the future I want to add the lights back in, I can easily do so in Photoshop. So now that we have that done, let's go ahead and have some fun and try these other light modifiers to see what kind of cool vignettes we can get with them to create some nice intimate moments of this scene here. So let's get to it. All right, so here's our composition here. Nice little tight composition. Let's see if we can focus in on maybe that faucet right there, I think that's okay. Yeah, I think we're pretty good. Maybe we can zoom out just a hair. That way I have some options if I need to. And just like before, I'm going to make sure I adjust things to work for my composition. So bring these a hair over. That's good. This stuff we can bring over too. That's okay. And let's see. Do I want to have them in the frame? Completely in the frame? That's not bad. I actually don't mind that. I mean, I'm probably going to crop this in anyway, but yeah, there you go. That'll work. So since I am gonna probably crop in later a little bit, maybe what we can do is zoom out. We'll zoom out to here. Right, just like that for now. That way, if I need to later, I can crop. So if you remember before, when we first had our main 1-point composition, we took our time to get everything all dialed in, move all the elements in the kitchen so it works perfectly with our composition. Now that we've changed to a different composition, a little bit off center, a little bit of a tighter vignette, we still have to apply that same approach. We can't just go based off of what we did previously because that was only related for that composition. Now that we've shifted our camera over, we have to do the same thing over, look at our preview and make sure that everything's lined up perfectly. Nothing's covering each other. The balance of everything looks good. So that way our composition looks clean and purposeful, right? It doesn't look like it's a sloppy job. Like we took our time to place everything where it needs to be for our image. Yeah, I'm good with that. So let's go back here. I'm going to use that faucet. I'm going to focus on there. That should be good. Okay, let's go ahead and take our brackets. And then we'll go ahead and do one with the lights on for the kitchen. All right, let's take another bracket. Perfect. So now, let's go ahead and turn the lights off, and then we can add our light in here, see what we want to do. So what I want to try is just to experiment with the light modifiers. So let's try this one on with the grid and see what this does. Let's go to manual. Let's take a single exposure. So pretty much, let's see, let's go to 620. I mean 160. Yeah, that pretty much kills all the ambient light. So now let's go ahead and introduce our light, We're at full power. Let's just see what that does. So as you can see, I'm starting off with this very dark ambient photo. The reason why is because I want to add my own lighting. I want to make sure that my base layer, my base image is completely dark so that none of the sunlight is affecting my scene. So that the only light that's going to be affected in my scene is the light that I add into it. So by having a dark image, a dark ambient photo, I know that none of that natural sunlight is affecting the scene. And by adding my own lighting, I'm in full control of what this image is going to look like. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Let's go up to 320. Yeah, not bad. Maybe what we can do is, let's move this light. Let's put it over here. So we get more side lighting. Let's give that a shot. That's pretty cool. I kind of like that. Let's see. Let's try that. Yeah, now at least it's not in my composition. That's pretty cool. Let's go to 640. That is nice. I got to admit, that is pretty sexy. I like that. I like the side lighting. That's looking really good. So that's with the grid on, right? That's with the grid. I like what it's doing. Let me try something. I want to see if I just go horizontal with this light straight across like that, what will that do? Let's give that a shot and just see before we take the grid off. Yeah, that's kind of cool. It definitely goes all the way across. Interesting. I wonder if I bring it in front. So if I bring it over here. See what that does. So I'm going in front of the light fixtures just to see what kind of quality we get of light. Yeah, obviously we're getting a lot more light on the actual light fixtures there. Interesting. But it's too hot. I don't like that. Let's try behind it. All right, so now we have the light coming from behind. Let's see what that looks like. Ooh, that is cool. I actually like the light hitting that left side wood of the kitchen. The cabinets there look really good. Man, I like that a lot. Wow. Yeah, that's gorgeous. I like that a lot. Let's go 320. Even more moodier. I think 640, that's the magic number for this one. Look at that. That is gorgeous light. I like that a lot. Now I wonder, let me throw a scrim in front of this. I'm curious. I wonder what that's going to do. I'm sure it's probably going to soften the light. Let's just see. Oh yeah, you could see it definitely softens it. And you're losing light too, of course. Let's, since we got the scrim there, let's go ahead and take this off. All right. Let's go 250. $160. Okay, nice. I mean, that's not bad either. I actually like the scrim light because it's actually a way softer light on the actual fall off of the shadow. If you look at the back light fixtures, you can see how soft that fall off is. So that's actually really pretty. I like that a lot. We do have some spill here, so I think that's because we might be angled towards that wall. So let's just angle it this way. Give that a shot. No, we still get, oh, it's because I'm too far away. Too far away from the light. So let's get a little bit closer. Maybe there. Give that a shot. Yeah, we're too, let's see here. That's better. That fall off is better. Can I go a little bit, can I go further back now? Yeah, we got a lot of hot spot right there. Let's see. Trying to feather the light off. There we go. Trying to get more detail on the left side of the frame. It was a little bit too hot. Maybe I can feather it a little bit more. That's good. I like that. And if you notice, it's not a science. We're just experimenting, figuring things out. If there's a light spill, no problem. Let's move the flash. Let's move the scrim, whatever we need to do to dial it in so that we can avoid that issue. Maybe we just need to feather the light a little bit more or actually physically move the light further back or further forward, right? We do whatever it takes so we can figure it out. And this is why doing these type of portfolio days help us to figure out these situations so that when we actually have a job, we already know what we need to do and not struggle. That looks really pretty. I like that a lot. Now, we'll give one more modifier a shot. Let's move this scrim. Let's take it over here. Let's just give that a shot. See what that does. Whoa, that's really hard. some hard light. And it's definitely spilling. Let's try rotating. Yeah, that's a little bit better. But to be honest, I think if I was to choose, I would definitely get the, I would definitely use the parabolic with the grid on it. That is a sexy light. Yeah, but it's not too bad. I mean, it's all of these are usable, definitely usable shots, like 100% for sure. Like even going back to the scrim, you know, like that's pretty light. And going back to the, where's the, yeah. You know, everything is looking really good. But I think I like this one the best. I love the parabolic with the grid on it. Damn, that just looks so good. The way that light's coming in. That is gorgeous. I really like that a lot. So now that we kind of know what we like, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this off. I'm going to put my scrim back in this position. And I'm just going to walk around, handheld, grabbing some shots. So let's go, let's put our scrim back, something like that. I'm going to take the Cam Ranger, stick it in my pocket. And now, I'm just going to go walk around and see if I can find some cool compositions. I want to do what's called light farming. And as a matter of fact, my good friend Wayne Capilis talks about it. You can see it here in this video. He explains what it's all about and how he uses it. Pretty much my explanation of it is think of it like you're outside on a sunny day, whether you're shooting landscape stuff, shooting a person, a car, it doesn't matter what it is. But you're using that sun as your main light source and just going around and getting compositions with that sun in that same position. Well, on an interior shoot, I'm kind of doing the same thing. I'm setting up my lighting so that once it's dialed in, all I'm going to do after that is grab my camera and walk around and get various compositions with that exact same light setup. So I don't have to keep moving things around. I can just light farm and just find compositions and make my life easier getting it all dialed in camera. So back in post, I really have to do barely anything. It just looks great in camera. Yeah, see? Don't even have to do everything. Everything's pretty much locked and loaded. Let me see here. Keep that light nice and straight. Parallel. Yep. So now it's just a matter of finding compositions, just snapping one shot. Gorgeous. If you notice on these handheld shots, I changed my timer to a 2-second delay. The The reason why I did that is that when I'm holding the camera and I hit that button, I'm trying to avoid any kind of movement. After I hit that shutter, it counts off 2 seconds and then allows me to hold the camera nice and still, and then it takes that photo. So by having a 2-second delay, it just avoids any kind of movement in your photo. And if you guys are curious, the lens that I used for the main money shot of the kitchen was a 20-40-70. And then when you saw me walking around getting those handheld shots, that was the 24-105. I love that lens to get those nice tight compression shots, those vignettes highlighting the different areas and details of the space. All right, guys, I think that's it. As you can see, we tried a bunch of different light modifiers. We did the scrim, we did the parabolic softbox, regular softbox, just bare bulb with the different modifier for the reflector. So one that's normal and then one that actually intensifies the light. And then just trying just different variations, right? I'm going to be putting together another video on the actual editing process of what it took to put this together in Lightroom and Photoshop to create the final image. So just stay tuned for that. I will put that together for you guys to see. This is what I love doing. Like when I have a day free to myself, if I have an opportunity to go to a custom home that's gorgeous, I just come, have fun, experiment, and just try to get things that are gonna benefit my portfolio and future potential clients. They can see the kind of stuff that I'm doing, the things that I want to do, right? Things that I wanna produce, things I wanna get paid for, so they can see that on our portfolio. And by doing things like this, we can generate that content to put on our portfolio, share it on social media so everybody can see what it is that we do and what is it that we love. You know, over the years, I've had people ask me like, how did you develop your style? How did you get to this point where you know all this stuff? And I pretty much have to tell them it's not something that happened just like that. It's not like something that I just developed and I knew what to do. This was a bunch of trial and error, a bunch of learning from so many different people until I figured out a style and aesthetic that I like for myself and something also that my clients enjoy. So what I can say for you guys is go out there, look, learn, and try different things. Like, don't ever think that there's one person out there who is the answer to it all. There's not. I'm definitely not the answer. What I'm sharing with you guys is just what works for me, what I've learned over the years that's helped me out, and I'm just giving it back all to you guys. For all you out there who are taking workshops, or whether it's online, in person, whatever, I think that's great. You should do more of that, just like myself. Some of you guys know that I like to dance, right? Like, dancing, just like photography, you never stop learning. You're always evolving. You're always trying different things. You're always adapting, adding more to your tool belt so that way you have more repertoire to use, whether you're dancing on the floor or out at a job doing a photo shoot, right? So whether you're going to workshops, conferences, whatever, I think that's a great thing. You never want to stop learning. And I will definitely say this, there is no end result when it comes to photography. You never stop. And if someone says that they've reached the peak and they're done, that's bullshit. That just doesn't happen. If you're a photographer, if you love this craft, you're going to continuously push yourself to learn and grow and try different things. One day you're going to be doing something and then you're going to get bored of it and you're going to try something else. And that's okay. That's how we all evolve into a new photographer, a new artist. So that way we're never being stale, doing the same thing over and over again. We're always pushing ourselves to grow and adapt so that we become better artists and better photographers for our clients out there. So anyway, guys, I hope you guys like this. I know it's a lot of stuff we went over, but I think it's just cool. Just one day, whenever you guys get a chance, just go experiment, whether it's your own house, a friend's house, a client's house, whatever it is, just experiment, try different things, because that's the only way we advance, we get better and push ourselves to learn new things and never be stale and and repetitive, doing the same thing over and over. We're always pushing ourselves to be better and producing better quality, staying in with what's new, what's current, and being separate from the competition out there, changing things so that we're not looking like everybody else. We're trying different things so that we're always separating ourselves from our competition so we stand out. So anyway, guys, I hope you guys liked it. Hope you guys found some nuggets. Leave some comments below. What did you guys think about what we went through today? Did you guys have any questions? Let me know. I'd love to answer your comments. I love reading them. And if you guys like this type of content, check out this video here. It goes over more different type of lighting concepts that I use for my clients on a daily basis. Hopefully I'll see you guys there on this video. And for any of you guys out there who are interested in coaching one-on-one, I do mentorship and I help people get into this career, whether they're beginners, they're advanced, newbies, whatever it is, doesn't matter. I bring you up and get you to a point where you want to be so that you're producing this type of quality, getting paid to do this type of photography, so you're actually enjoying it rather than struggling. Anything you guys are having a hard time with, whether it's the basics, fundamentals, or more advanced lighting, let me know and we can tailor the courses so that it's exactly something that you need to get you to the next level. Well, guys, until next time, I'll see you then.